Welcome back everyone, it's time to go deep! One Piece chapter 1031 has shocked everyone because the Sanji we know is dead! The Simp King is no more. Sanji has finally done it! He hit a woman!
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Throughout One Piece, our boy Sanji has been the go-to model for every simp. If we wanted to learn how to be a perfect simp, we would open our Sanji textbook and take notes. But this chapter changed everything. Sanji beat the crap out of this young lady.
What's going on here?
Oh, sir, I'm arrested. Oh.
But for reals, I'm going to explain why Sanji actually done this, and before we get into this chapter, let's address what I meant by Sanji's new Devil Fruit ability. This statement caused a bit of confusion, but it's not wrong if you understand how exactly Sanji's power worked and how he was genetically modified. Now, just for clarification, I'm not saying that Sanji ate a Devil Fruit, I'm saying that he has a Devil Fruit-like ability. From chapter 824, we learned that Windsmoke Judge had engineered his 4 sons to possess superhuman traits by applying the procedure to them during their fetus stage, against the wishes of his wife Sora. But this next level fetus engineering ensured his kids would develop a secondary hardened skeleton known as exoskeleton, as well as other physical enhancements. However, whilst his brothers all adapted to their father's engineering, Sanji did not gain any of these genetic enhancements because his mother took a powerful drug intended to negate the surgery's effect. However, the drug rendered Sanji alone a normal human, now in Sanji's case was counteracted by the use of his Germa Suit. These modifications are in fact the real reason for the Windsmoke siblings' different hair color and the inverted eyebrows, in comparison to Sanji, who is the only sibling to inherit their parents' hair color due to the modification failure, along with having his eyebrow in the opposite direction. So knowing that Sanji with his siblings was modified, let's get into why it's akin to obtaining a Devil Fruit. Windsmoke Judge, along with Caesar Clown, Queen and the legendary Vegapunk, studied Devil Fruits and their application on all life forms. This group was called MADS. Eventually they came to the understanding that all life forms has something called the lineage factor, which is the blueprint of life. Eating a Devil Fruit affects one lineage factor, giving them supernatural powers and weakness to the sea. Realizing that manipulating this blueprint of life can cause change in growth of the life forms, pushed the group MADS further into developing unique means of achieving a similar effect as Devil Fruits. So what Sanji's father essentially did was personally change his kids' lineage factor, giving them extra powers just like a Devil Fruit would. However, unlike a Devil Fruit, there are no drawbacks of being weak to the sea. Instead, the drawback is losing your emotions. And for Windsmoke Judge, that wasn't really a drawback, as he intended for this to create the perfect soldier. Some of the powers these test tube babies have, aside from the exoskeleton iron body I mentioned earlier, is an increased healing rate, which would explain how Sanji is seemingly healing after being blown up by Queen's attack. This was also seen with Reiju when she managed to rapidly heal after her leg was shot. However, aside from these base abilities, each of his siblings have special unique powers which resembles the use of Devil Fruits. Using this logic, we can also assume Sanji will unlock his Devil Fruit ability like his siblings. It's even possible that the fire conjured with his kicks are not because of friction, rather it's just his ability. With that clarification out of the way, let's finally get into the chapter. We start off with the aftermath of Big Mom being crushed under all that metal due to the magnetism kid assigned to her using his awakened Devil Fruit. All the fathers think she has been killed, but we all know that whenever a side character says someone is defeated, they most definitely are not. And come on guys, we're talking about Big Mom here. As I said in our last video, Big Mom is definitely going to survive in this arc. These beast NPCs forgot that they are in the One Piece manga.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it.
Anyways, whilst Big Mom is still buried under the rubble, Law asks his kid how long his awakening magnetic field assignment lasts. However, likely still scared from the betrayal of Appoo, he's hesitant to reveal secrets about himself, so he tells Law to just back off and mind his own business. Just as they are still regaining their breath, Big Mom starts to fling the rubble on top of her and rises like a monster, asking the father, life or Oshiruko. Yeah, that was a pretty pretty bad impression of Big Mom, but for those who don't know, Oshiroko is a dessert, a Japanese dessert. For Big Mom's soul focus ability to work, she has to demand life and something alternative to it, usually being whatever Big Mom desires at that moment. If the person shows fear for even a second, Big Mom will be able to take their lifespan in any amount that she chooses, even the entire remaining lifespan, killing them instantly. All the foddies around her, realizing that they don't have any Oshiroko, they became scared shitless, which ultimately gives Big Mom the power to yoink out their souls and turn the metal rubble around her into her homies. But she doesn't just stop there. Being so angry, she uses up 1 year of her lifespan to power herself up, evolving herself into an even bigger mom.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
As Big Mom gets up, she says that finally she has acknowledged Kid and Law's claim to her Emperor's throne. She will now show them the true might of an Emperor. After hearing this, Kid and Law both get fired up and claim that they have to go all out now. It's all or nothing. Now, a quick note I wanted to add is that even though Kid and Law have the same objective as bringing down Kaido and Big Mom, Law is not fighting to take anyone's position or for power. Rather, he's fighting to uncover the true history of the world. Because of this motive, his alliance with the Straw Hats is much deeper than someone like Kid's, whose alliance is temporary and altogether they're really just rivals. Regardless, it seems like we are in the end game here with Big Mom, where both parties have or will be showing the full force of their abilities, bringing us the perfect moment to go over a theory the community has dubbed Yo Mama is a homie.
You serious?
No guys, I'm actually very serious here. Using our balls, the prediction hockey, and Reddit user OldMan77's analysis, I think we have figured out how Big Mom will be defeated in Wano. Basically, the theory suggests that Big Mom's soul has been corrupted or influenced by Mother Carmel. The homies created by the soul fruit can eat others, and the stronger one gains the strength of the weaker one, inheriting the powers. Similarly, when Big Mom ate Mother Carmel, their souls got melded together, with Big Mom gaining the ability of her devil fruit. Basically, souls in the One Piece world can be molded and messed around with, as we saw in Punk Hazard, where Law is able to swap people's souls, causing their personalities to also be swapped. And let's not forget that the persona of Olin exists within Big Mom, who we did witness surfacing after being thrown into the ocean and hitting her head. With her devil fruit ability weakening in the water, the grasp of Carmel's soul or personality could have weakened for Olin to resurface, and she seems to be the same innocent little girl around the time she ate Mother Carmel. That's the real Olin coming out, without the influence of Mother Carmel and her fruit. Basically, the soul bonding had become undone due to her hitting her head and the seawater weakening the fruit's abilities. There is way more to this theory, where Mother Carmel had two sides to her, with a front of kindness but a dark side of child trafficking. Big Mom has a similar front of a safe and peaceful land where every race can coexist, but they must pay her with their lifespan and also deal with her hunger tantrums. You can even see this in her main homies, whom she has created from her own soul. Out of Hera, Prometheus, Napoleon and Zeus represents Olin the most, where he's innocent and easily swayed by Nami's tweet, just like the young Olin's childish nature. So because of this duality of soul inside of Big Mom, a likely way for Law and Kid to defeat her would be for Law to get inside of Big Mom and separate Mother Carmel's soul from Olin's, thus killing Big Mom and only leaving the sweet innocent Olin. As I said, this theory goes even deeper, hence I'm thinking of making a full video dissecting Big Mom. So guys, don't forget to smash that like button and notification bell to show us your support. Anyways, enough about Big Mama. Let's get back to the chapter where Appoo the snake is getting what he deserves with ex-Drake beating the shit out of him. Appoo still tries to get Drake on his side, but he ain't having it, as he still feels the need to repay the Straw Hats by finishing him off. Drake reveals that he has already figured out Appoo's ability, where he deduces that it follows his line of sight, targeting people who can hear him. But Appoo still feels confident as he has 3 numbers backing him up. However, at this point, Yamato shows up running towards the basement with the explosives and is shocked to see Drake and Appoo fighting. Appoo thinks about getting Yamato on his side to get rid of Drake, but before he could even finish his sentence, Yamato declares she has cut ties with her father and attacks Drake, who's trying to block her way. Drake also quickly announces his decision to abandon the Beast Pirates, causing Yamato to apologize as she keeps running with time in the essence. But one of the numbers decides to go off after Yamato by smashing a wall chasing after her. Appoo, who wants to get Yamato to his side, gets pissed off and follows the number with X Drake right behind them. This is pretty interesting as it would mean that Yamato, the numbers, Appoo and Drake would reach the basement together, and since Appoo wants to save his own skin, he will definitely help getting rid of the explosives, but the numbers being mindless monsters could pose a threat trying to smash up the room, creating tension. Either that or the numbers are actually a good ally who will fundamentally help. Let's not forget the reoccurring theme of giants always turning sides in favor for the Straw Hats. Cutting back to the chapter, we go to the second floor where we see the two CP0 agents that left the guest room from the last chapter, just walking through the minks like they're nothing, even throwing one in the air like a rag doll. They are clearly trying to follow through on Rob Lucci's order that he mentioned back in chapter 1028, which was to capture Nico Robin. The minks tell Robin and Brook to run away, as Brook grabs Robin and jumps down to the first floor away from the CP0 and the flames. Whilst he's jumping, Robin questions why they are even here on this island. She's taken back with just how even amongst the elite of CP0, the masked agents are in their own league, which Oda does illustrate by how easy they are able to mow down through everyone in their way. Before they can even get away, we see one of the CP0 members move so quickly that it's almost like instant transmission from Dragon Ball or something, you know, but we all know it's an advanced version of Soru or Shave, one of the Rokushiki techniques. Before we even find out where the CP0 member disappeared to, we head to the east side of the island to catch up with Sanji, who seemed to have returned to Black Maria's pleasure hall brothel. He's standing in the doorway with some of the other women pointing weapons at him, and there's a young girl who's bleeding out in the arms of another. The woman who's holding the girl screams at Sanji, asking why did he do this? Why did Sanji attack this young girl? He is supposed to be helping them, not attacking them. And in the midst of all of this, Sanji tries to deny it.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
They are accusing Sanji because he was alone with the girl. With all fingers pointing at him, he is thrown out of the room before he can even defend against this accusation. Sanji then starts questioning himself because he would never hurt a lady. It goes against everything he believes in. As Sanji thinks back to what happened, his PTSD kicks in with a flashback to the time when his brothers injured and abused their maid, leaving her with a bruised eye. Thinking that his test tube baby powers are awakening, is he now like his brothers? This is actually some deep stuff. But before we go any further, guys, I'm sure you might have noticed something very interesting about Sanji during this chapter. Such a small detail that it's really easy to overlook. That's right, guys, Sanji's eyebrow has been reversed. Now the curly part is outwards instead of inwards, like his siblings. This also isn't Oda making a mistake forgetting that he flipped the sides of Sanji's eyebrows after the time skip either, because we see Sanji in the flashback here, his eyebrows is normal. It's very clear that this is a visual sign that Sanji is in the middle of some sort of transformation or has completed it. Not only is he bouncing bullets and swords off his skin like it's nothing, but now he's having lapses in memory where he's apparently breaking one of his core values that he never strayed away from. Before Sanji can even collect his thoughts, Queen breaks into the room, but Sanji doesn't even pay attention to him. He instead is thinking about how that tingling feeling he was getting before with his body is now finally over, indicating that his transformation is completed, with now his eyebrows stuck like that of his siblings. Sanji then thinks back to what exactly happened with the beaten young girl, as we flash back to when he was running away from Queen. When he bumped into the girl, she said she doesn't work for Kaido, she's just a dancer they hired from the capital. However, we see an expressionless evil Sanji as she begs him not to hurt her. In the next moment, she's seen on the floor bleeding, looking up at Sanji with nothing but fear in her eyes. Now, even though we didn't see the action of abuse, it's very likely that Sanji snapped and attacked, though I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the case. I can't believe this Sanji hitting a woman just doesn't make sense. But back to the present, Queen fully transformed into his hybrid form. Sanji, however, is still ignoring him, thinking and questioning himself, asking what would be more useful to the Pirate King. Someone who can't raise his hands and feet against a woman, someone who's unreliable, or some emotionless monster who's able to destroy anyone without hesitation, only needing an order to do so. The soldier of science. Pulling out the Germa Suit, Sanji makes his decision. Whilst he doesn't know what would be the most useful to the Pirate King, he knows what he has to do. As Queen finally celebrates as seeing the suit being pulled out, Sanji drops it to the floor, stomping and destroying it. Our boy is taking out all his frustration and says it's because he used the suit that the science inside of his body has awakened. He isn't going to become a soldier of science like his brothers. He says farewell to Germa and of course ladies' bathhouses. If you guys remember, one of Sanji's dream was to possess the Suke no Mi, the clear devil fruit, which allows the user to become invisible. And the one thing good about his Germa suit was that it gave him that ability. And of course the reasoning for Sanji wanting this ability was so that my man could really go to any woman's bathhouse and get a good showing, you know what I'm saying? Sanji, as he destroys one of his dreams goodbye, lights up a cigarette and pulls out a Den Mushi. Zoro, who is still in an intense battle with King, notices the call. Whilst blocking the projectiles King is throwing at him, he answers the snail. Apparently Sanji snuck it onto Zoro in case Zoro died and Sanji needed to find his body. Zoro shouts and says he doesn't want to be bothered right now, but Sanji responds saying it's gonna be quick, stating that after they beat the beast pirates, if Sanji isn't himself, as in he lost his mind and no emotions and stuff, he wants Zoro to kill him. With Zoro blocking King's beak, he then says to Sanji through the phone that he'll do it. In fact, he'll look forward to it, telling Sanji that he better not die before then. This interaction really highlighted the relationship Zoro and Sanji has. Obviously, Sanji is not in his right sense and Zoro knows this. However, Zoro is trying to reassure Sanji that he got his back. The call between the two ends and we return to Queen, who's shocked to see that Sanji seemed to have disappeared, leaving nothing but a small amount of smoke behind. He questions if this is part of science. Did Sanji unlock his innate invisibility, or is our black leg Sanji just moving and jumping very fast? Sanji, covered in flames, appears screaming that he's already burning and Queen better not stroke that flame. With that, the chapter ends on Sanji kicking Queen, sending him flying with hell's memory. Now it's quite sad that Sanji lost his Germa suit. We all wanted to see him use it more. However, we don't know what exactly happened to his body. It's possible that he did unlock everything that was done to him, meaning that he does have a hardened exoskeleton and he might have a unique ability which is similar to his siblings. I'm hoping that the fire he produces is actually due to the friction he causes and not that ability, and hopefully down the line we'll see him unlock this unique ability. Maybe even possibly being invisibility. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys, as it lets us gauge on how much One Piece content to push out. Also subscribe if you haven't, ding that notification bell to stay updated. With that, we'll catch you till next time.